buildings that are on the two dairies in Nebraska have evolved from the beginning of when I first built in Nebraska in 2000. Um, my goal was to build a barn that had the environment that would benefit the cows in multiple different types of climate throughout the year. I mean, in Nebraska we were faced with really hot summers, temperatures in the hundreds, and in the winters severe temperatures, of negative 20 to 30 below ambient temperatures. And so after dairying in southwest Kansas for 6 years and experiencing all kinds of weather from snow to wind to hot, I was fed up with the results that I was getting with animal production, and so I was after trying to build a facility that would knock off the extremes, the cold extremes and the heat extremes, and create an environment that was more productive for cattle. And so we built tunnel ventilated barns, replicating some of what had already been done in the hog industry. And along those lines, we also introduced evaporative cooling, and our farms were some of the first farms of this scale to utilize tunnel ventilation and evaporative cooling in the same setting. And so our initial results were positive, and so then when we expanded in 2005, we looked at how can we improve these barns, and one of them was we wanted to have even more natural light, and so we added a clear ridge vent along the top of the barn to allow more light in, and then also we increased our air speeds to have a higher wind speed and to move even more air through the barns. And so and all of this was to increase the ventilation and keep the cows cool in the summertime, and yet maintain a warmer barn in the wintertime. And so when we built Butler County in 2007, we even added more features to it. We sloped our barns in a little bit different configuration to enhance airflow even more, and also added our ridge vents on the top for wintertime ventilation. And we also added more fans on the ends of the barns to increase the airspeed even more. So in the initial build, we had about a 7-mile-an-hour wind speed at Double Dutch in the construction in 2000. The next construction got us up to 10 miles an hour air speeds, and then Butler County has achieved 13-mile-an-hour air speeds. And what we've seen in Butler County, we then took back and we remodeled the original barns at Double Dutch. So we've brought back what we've learned back to the original barns. We also situate our barns running north and south so that we capture the morning light, and we also capture the afternoon light and the light throughout the day. I think it's important that our cows get natural sunlight on a daily basis, and it's also a great environment for employees to work in. We also put our fans on the north end of our barns because we have a prevailing southern wind. That also helps airflow through our barns. What we've seen is better feed efficiencies. Our cattle eat less feed because they're not having to maintain body temperatures during the winter. Our cattle are able to maintain reproduction in the summer. We don't drop off on breeding because our cows stay cool. One of the side benefits to it is that these barns are under a negative pressure, meaning that we're pulling air suction. And when you create a negative pressure environment, um, it's not an environment that flies want to be around. And so you'll come onto our farms and there'll be very few flies, and the cows in the barns will not be swatting flies or be irritated by flies. And since the flies aren't even there, we use no pesticides on our barns, on any of our farms to control flies, and because flies just ain't there.